This video is the fifth in a 10-part series on the Bitcoin Standard, a book by economist Safdin Ammous. This series includes 10 videos, one for each chapter of the book, and this video focuses on the information contained within Chapter 5. Chapter 5: Money and Time Preference. Sound money is extremely important for three main reasons. Number 1, it protects value across time. Number 2, it gives people an incentive to think of their future. And number 3, it lowers their time preference. Time preference is the ratio at which people value the present as compared to the future. People will always prefer to have resources now than in the future. In order for someone to be willing to delay those resources, they must be confident that they will receive more if they wait. This is the central motivation for investment, planning, etc. High time preference is gluttony. Low time preference is rational investment in the future. Lowering the time preference allows people to cooperate, prosper, and live in peace. The problem is that fiat money encourages people to be gluttonous because their money will buy less in the future. This is because governments continually print money, meaning that there will always be a higher quantity of the money supply in the future. The only way low time preference works is with sound money that is limited in supply, like gold or Bitcoin, because their money will not depreciate in value in the future. A capital good is a good created in order to increase or improve future production. Creating tools instead of hunting is an example of a capital good. Monetary inflation. Inflation is when prices go up. Prices go up because the money supply goes up. The price of any good is best thought of as its proportion to the total money supply, not its numeric value. Its numeric value is totally irrelevant. Therefore, any quantity of money is sufficient to fill all monetary functions, as long as it is sufficiently divisible. A theoretically ideal money would be a money that is strictly limited in supply, meaning nobody could possibly create more of it. It's just a fact of history that if it is possible to create more money, people will do it, which makes the prices of everything go up for everyone. Inflation is impossible with Bitcoin because it is strictly limited in supply. Saving and capital accumulation. A major problem caused by a currency whose value decreases over time, or inflates, is that it negatively incentivizes saving for the future. If you can buy less in the future than you can now because of inflation, it is rational to spend and borrow lots of money now and to not save for the future. Sound money is the exact opposite. Sound money is money that gains in value over time, which incentivizes saving and planning for the future. Innovations: 0 to 1 versus 1 to many. Sound money incentivizes investments in long-term and large projects. As a result, some of the most important innovations in human history occurred in the last half of the 19th century. In the book, The History of Science and Technology, the authors compile a list of over 8,500 of the most important inventions in science and technology, ranked per capita, meaning how many of these innovations happened per person, controlling for population growth. The analysis found that, while the total number of innovations rose in the 20th century, it actually fell as a proportion of the population. In his popular book, 0 to 1, Peter Thiel discusses the impact of visionaries who created the first successful examples of new technologies. The move from having 0 to 1 of these innovations is the hardest and most important step, whereas moving from 1 to many is merely a matter of scaling, marketing, and optimization. Some examples of the most important innovations that occurred in this period of hard money during the late 1800s until 1914 are hot and cold running water, indoor toilets, plumbing, central heating, electricity, the internal combustion engine, mass production, automobiles, airplanes, subways, electric motors, elevators, heart surgery, organ transplants, baby incubators, radiation therapy, anesthetics, aspirin, blood transfusions, vitamins, petroleum-derived chemicals, stainless steel, nitrogen-based fertilizers, which allow the existence of billions of people through fertilizing crops in third world countries. The telephone, voice recording, color photography, movies, etc. Artistic flourishing. It can be argued that the effects of sound money can also be seen in art and music. Wealthy patrons finance most of the famous artists and musical composers that we regard today as the masters of their art forms. Many of the greatest masterpieces of art and music were created under a sound monetary system, backed by gold. Be sure to watch the next video in this 10-part series, which will summarize Chapter 6 of the Bitcoin Standard. Chapter 6 is entitled Capitalism's Information System, and it explains how capitalism, or free markets, actually compute and store information which cannot possibly be stored or computed in any other way, because it is based on the emergent behavior of hundreds of millions or billions of people. This is a very important idea understood by very few people. Please like, subscribe, and check out the next video.